Hello, 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 hello. It's Friday! Woo! Wow, why is it so dark? That's why. That's why it's so dark. Gotta turn the light on. Can't do anything without my accent light. I've been busy. Big Printer is printing, so because Big Printer is printing, I've been printing big things on Big Printer. There we go. There we go. Don't know about a lot of viewers. WAN show is live. Okay, cool. That's a different thing. Yeah, we are here. It's Friday. Today is the last stream of the Delta Flyer kit build series. We're going to be printing on it. We are going to be printing on it. So what I need you to do is this stream will go to about 5 p.m. EST. Okay, I'm giving you homework right now. Start of the stream, I'm that teacher. Right off the bat, homework. Cool, here's your homework. Find me something to print. I'm looking for a print that is not too big. The printer volume is 110 cylinder by 110 tall. So about 100 millimeters cube, we'll say. And it needs to be something kind of cool to show off, but not like a torture test. I don't want to do no boring torture test print. We don't, no. Find me something fun to print that is actually a cool little print. Like, I don't know where all my cool, you know, I don't want like something like this. I want a cool little statue print. Find me a cool print, share the link for it in the Discord, and then we will print it. Something that in about 2 hours. What is this? Say hello to R6A0. It's currently in progress, obviously. I love big printers. I love big printers. The fact that 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Obviously there's greeblies here and whatnot. And when it all works, the arms will do arm stuff. Like these are actually supposed to pivot out. Let me see if I can do it right. Oh, look at that. It's not held in there. Nothing's held in, it's all friction fit right now. But it's getting there. It's getting there. This is gonna be an ongoing project on the channel over the next couple months to whenever it gets done. I'm in no rush to finish this. But it's going to be something that we're using the big printer for to print. And in case you can't see, I have the big printer kind of half-assed enclosed right now because I'm trying to print ABS on it. We'll see how it goes. But I'm using all my blankets. I'm using blankets to enclose it. And then also I had this printer running. I got 2 of the Core 1s running. The Core 1L has been printing parts. All these parts were printed on the Core 1L. So I'm still testing that printer as well. Best way to test a printer is to actually use it, because you learn more about how a printer works in real world use case when you use it in a real world use case. So that is ongoing, but that's not what you're here for today. While this giant R6 droid, it's not an R2, it's an R6. There is a difference. While that is cool, that's not why we're here today. We are here for the Delta Flyer, which is on the floor right here. So let me move this out of the way. This is getting heavy quick. This is getting heavy quick. And of course, that part that wasn't held in isn't held in anymore. It's all PETG. Everything you see right there that you saw was either PETG or ABS. Here we go. This is why you came here. This is why you're here. This is why you're here. The Delta Flyer. I put it on the ground for one day to make some room on my workbench, and it's covered in dog hair already. One day. Can I go one day without my stuff getting covered in dog hair? So this is the Delta Flyer, and this is probably the most fun I've had building a kit in a while. I'm actually, how do I phrase this? How do I phrase it? I gotta figure out how to convert the thoughts in my heads into words that I can use for a video. But how do I go about it? Okay. Kits are dying. When it comes to 3D printing, kits are dying. Okay? People don't build kits like they used to. Why? Because why build a kit when you can just go to Micro Center or hit up, you know, your Amazon and get a printer that's, you know, pretty damn good for 300 bucks out the door and it's already pre-built, right? Back in my day, If you wanted an enclosed Core XY high-speed machine, you had to build a Voron. If you wanted a custom machine to do something, you had to build it because it was Ender slop. We were in the Ender slop period where everything was a V-wheel bed flinger and the printers weren't that good. And then there was that period from about 2018, 2019 to about 2022. Those were the golden age of kits. Kits were great, right? Voron 2.4 and the VZ bots and all those cool. And then Bamboo came out and Bamboo was like, cool, just buy the thing. Which is good, don't get me wrong. But now it's like, you know, just buy a Core 1, buy a Bamboo, buy a Cheaty. No, people aren't building kits like they used to. So if this is the future of 3D printing kits, I'm okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay where kits for 3D printers become more of a boutique niche kind of thing versus them trying to live on in their current form, which is like, you know, the Vorons and whatnot, because you can't compete with mass production. The kits can't compete with mass production. You just can't. The streamline efficiencies, it doesn't work that way. Okay, there's a reason a Voron kit costs so much when you can go buy a Centauri Carbon that, for all intents and purposes, does everything a 250 Trident does, but you can buy 3 to 4 Centauri Carbons for the price of a good Trident kit. Okay, it is what it is. I understand the economics of it. So if this is kind of like the way of the future of kits, where it's like they're cheap little fun things that you build because you have fun building them and you get a nice little fun printer out of it at the end of the day, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that. Still not going to take my Vorons, but I'm okay with that. Because these are, this is going to sound really weird to say, not offensive. Yeah, it's a cheap, small little Delta. If you're buying like 50 of these kits to set up a print farm, you're kind of dumb. But if you are somebody who just has fun building printers, or you're a tinkerer, or you know, you already bought that Bamboo and you already bought that, and it's like, I want to build a printer, but I don't want to build a production machine. I want to build something just for fun. The Rook was kind of the start of that, I think, in my opinion. A fun little, cheap little printer. This, I think, is like a more refined Rook. I think this is a step up from a Rook. It's enclosed. You have roughly the same print volume. Kids can't and cats can't get in it. It's already enclosed. It's easier to enclose. And it's a Delta. If you're building an art piece printer that's fun to look at and that you just had fun building, you can't go wrong with a Delta. They're not efficient in terms of space. They're wholly inefficient space-wise. But they're fun to look at. So it kind of checks that box too. So here's the thing though. I'm gushing over this printer now because I had fun building it. I haven't actually printed anything on it yet. The printer is on, it's powered up. You can see there, we got beep boop lights. This lid is held on with magnets. I do have some critiques about the build. There are some things I would like to change on this that I might change on mine. There are a few little things. There are some things we learned about it. The instructions have improved due to feedback and whatnot during the build. But overall, I've been very happy with it. But I haven't printed on it yet. Now, to be fair, that is a bold-faced lie. As you can see, I do have some prints here, but these are calibration prints. This is pressure advance. I didn't do input shaper. There's no point doing input shaper on something that's small. So we did pressure advance, bed leveling, all that's good. But I haven't actually printed on it. So let's unload it. We'll load it with some fresh filament, and then we'll print something on it. Because right now I got white. White doesn't show up good on camera. So if you are interested in getting one of these kits, I will do my disclosure right now. Full disclosure, this whole build series was materially sponsored by LDO Motors. What does that mean? LDO Motors provided me the kit for this build series. They haven't sponsored financially or anything, but they did provide the kit for this build series. If you are interested in getting one of these kits for yourself, I don't have any direct links in the video description below because LDO doesn't sell directly. They sell through resellers. I don't have any particular preference which one you go with. They're all, most of them, pretty good companies. I've talked to many of them. them in person. Great companies. Go purchase this wherever fine LDO products are sold. A bunch of them have Black Friday sales on right now. I don't think I have any affiliate links with any of them, but if I do, check out the links in the description. Also, you're going to need filament to print this. It is a printer. It is made out of printed parts. You need filament to print the printed parts for the printer to print printed parts with, because, you know, it's an Ouroboros. So if you need some filament, hey, LDO Motors also has filament. But also, you know who else has filament? Polymaker. Every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. So enter for that. Also, while you're down there, check out the Polymaker link because it is Black Friday today. That means companies are doing sales right now. Check out the affiliate links. Use code Canuck on places like GamerSups. Save some money. Luke's Lab. I don't have an LDO affiliate link, but like Polymaker, whatever. All the affiliate links. Consume. Help the economy. Lord knows it needs all the help it can get. Let me unload the printer right now. Unload, 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 unload. No, that's load film. Unload filament. It's got LEDs. It's got RGB. This printer is already the best printer ever because it's got RGB. What a rant. I didn't rant. Chat overlay. I turned the overlays on. I totally was yapping while I was turning them on. So I got desktop on. Mobile camera die? Mobile camera die. I need mobile camera. How did mobile camera die? Mobile camera's right here. Why did you die? You're on. Uh-oh. 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 Why did mobile camera die? Mobile. There we go. I'm gonna need that in a minute. Also, my chamber isn't the greatest. We're only holding about a 36 Celsius in there. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm printing some pretty tall ABS parts in there right now. We'll see how it goes. Okay, is this fully unloaded? It is fully unloaded. So I will say happily, the load and unload macros on this printer are pretty solid from the get-go. So right now I have white. So here's the question. What are we gonna print on this thing? We have the printer. Let me pull it up here. I already have the, where is it? Delta Flyer, there it is. So we need something to print. So what are you guys suggesting we print? Let me check the Discord. We have a Christmas tree. We got a Santa love. Let me see that. I don't want to print something with a ton of supports. Santa. Revolving Rolo Rocket by Rolohan. You know what? How many parts is it? Is it single piece rocket? Are we gonna print the rocket? Let's print the rocket. The guy who designed the printer said print the rocket, so I will print the rocket. What color are we gonna print it in? I don't have a lot of filament out here for PLA. Purple or green? Purple or green? Because I don't know where I put my refills. Where are my refills? I have some Polymaker. You know what? We'll use one of these Polymaker refills. Where'd I put them? Shoot, where'd I put all my Polymaker refills? I have one here, but it's empty. Oh, they're over here. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got here? We got matte forest green, army dark green, and army beige. I'll save the army. Let's go with matte forest green. Matte forest green. Metallic purple? Okay, you guys said purple. We'll go with purple then. You said purple. We'll go with purple. It is Polymaker Galaxy PLA purple. Ooh. That's a nice purple. That's a nice purple. Late, but here, you're not late. If you're late, your penance is you must like the smash button. So like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, a Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. It's the best way to support the channel because other people get to hang out when we do cool member stuff. Because yesterday we did a member stream and it was super fun and we built some stuff and we yapped and we had a good time. And if you want to participate in next month's member stream, well, you got to be a channel member. Okay, so go there. Load filament. Go. Look at it go. I have 3.5 printers running in the garage right now, and I'm actually kind of happy it's not louder. It is, this printer is loud. I forgot why I don't use this one that often. I was printing a bunch of parts on it for the thing. This thing gets loud. This printer gets loud. So I was printing parts for the between the fans. Also, there's something up with this bed. I don't like this bed. This bed, I don't know if it's the magnet. I got to replace the magnet on this. It bows like crazy. I've already thrown out this plate. As you can see, it was doing, it was buckling up pretty heavy. And that's after letting it heat soak for like 20 minutes beforehand. So unfortunately, it is a not the greatest with that. Okay, so we have that. Let's turn down the temp. Extrude 50 at 5, extrude, and then retract 5. That is a very nice purple. That is a very nice purple. You need a soundproof enclosure for the tube enclosure. Well, what I used to do is just throw blankets over stuff. Back when I used to have the printers in the basement and the printer room was underneath the master bedroom, I would just throw a blanket over the printer. If it was loud, I would just throw a blanket over it. It worked. Okay, let's slice this rocket. So downloads, revolving single point rocket. All right. There we go. You know, I'm gonna move the seam to the back. Actually, no, the seam's gonna be in the front. We'll see how it handles seams. Oh, wait 1 second. Copy. Slice. FYI, the load and unload macros are set to default to 210 if the hot off. Okay. Print, upload and print. There we go. So this is about an hour print. Look at the colors. Just playing under the blankets. Okay, let me get my mobile camera set up because while this is really cool to look at, I'm sure you'd rather see this. So let me move my mobile camera over here. Oh my God, I have a giant astromech droid in the way now that I got to deal with. You're just held on with double-sided tape. You can come off. Okay, let's move this camera over here. The joys of having multiple cameras in a setup is you move stuff around, it gets annoying. Oh, dang it. 1 second. Got a case of Coke on the ground. There we go. I thought that was a centipede. I thought there was a centipede on the ground. It was a those little headers for soldering pins. Okay, zoom in. There we go. That should work pretty good. For a quick zoom in. Mobile. There we go. There we go. So that is that. So what are we doing right now? So we're waiting on the bed to heat up. Waiting on the bed to heat up. No, I was walking and I looked down. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. Maybe it was a centipede because it's not. Oh, no. There it is. Okay. No, I saw one of these on the ground. This. And I'm like, ah! And I'm like, oh, wait. No, that's just a header. Great lighting. It's so orange. The Canon cameras don't pick up colors that great. They don't like the orange. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It is what it is. The white balance of the orange. This picks up the orange okay, but that looks more red, and then this looks even darker red. So. Centipedes can sting, can they? That sucks. How's that coming along? That's coming along good. All the prints are coming along pretty good. I'm a little worried with this ABS print because we're only getting 37 in the chamber. So I'm hoping by printing it hot with like very, very, very low fan, it comes out okay. But I'm not holding my breath. It doesn't help. It's also an ancient spool of ABS that I'm using. Ask for a new Sony camera for Christmas. Santa isn't as generous as he was when I was a kid. Wife already got me my Christmas gift. My Christmas gift was a new monitor because I'm an adult. So when we were at Costco and I went to my wife and I'm like, oh, hey, that monitor's on sale. And she's like, do you want that for Christmas? And I'm like, okay. And we bought it and we brought it home and I already have it set up. So that was my Christmas gift. And then she already has hers. So. Waiting on the bed. Oh, no, the bed's heated up. Now we're just waiting on the nozzle to heat up. So as this is printing, I think we're gonna get a notepad going here. And we gotta make a list of things I need to talk about for the printer. How did Notepad just crash? Windows is getting shittier and shittier. Like, why do I have Copilot? Oh, I gotta turn off Copilot on this computer. How do I disable Copilot? Seriously, Notepad crashed. Oh my God, Windows. Stabby Baby Unicorn, $49.99. Cheers and appreciated. Thank you. Don't have much to say except hi. Hello there. Hope you're doing well. If you are in a turkey coma, I hope you're doing good. Otherwise, enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend, and thank you for supporting the channel. So it's gonna be a little stringy on that first layer because it heated up right above the middle of the bed and then it dropped down. Seriously, if my computer crashes, we'll be right back. There we go. Jeez. Freaking Notepad. Notepad. AI on Windows. Yeah, it's like, why do we need AI in everything? Like, I could go on a rant about it. I could go on a rant. It's literally like, we need to justify all the money we're spending on this thing because it's not making money. So we need to shove it in everything. Yeah, it's super annoying because every time you open Notepad, it opens with all these tabs open. And I have like a crow's nest log open and I can't close it because it crashes it. Yeah, whatever. What do you mean the printer is noisy? Printer is noisy? Are you hearing noise? I do have noise canceling enabled. So let me turn it off so you can hear it without the noise cancellation. There you go. It's not that loud. It's pretty sure that's the extruder. It's making Bowden noises. A little bit of panel rattle, because the panels aren't, whatchamacallit, the panels aren't, there's no foam gasket, the panels are hard on. But yeah, you can hear the motors. Yeah, that's fine. It's not that loud, honestly. It's making a noise, but compared to like blowimatrons, it's not bad. Yeah, it's the panels, I think, resonating, because everything's moving pretty smooth. So, a little bit of panel resonance. I mean, okay, for comparison with the door closed, it's about the same as the Core ones. It's about the same as Core one. There's a little bit of a more mechanical noise to it. There's a bit more of a mechanical noise. Well, yeah, if I'm leaning over the printer, like if I'm this close to the printer, the mic's right here. So it's a foot away from the printer. But it's PLA, so I got the door open. Plus you have these panels down here too. There's a lot of plastic panels in this. So what I think of the Index, it's pretty cool. I don't have one, so I can't really comment on it. Steve has one. Steve has one. Steve's been beta testing one. I think he did a stream talking about it. I did not watch Steve's video because I want my opinions to be untainted, if that makes sense. Simple as that. How are we doing on the print? Okay, we got no stringing, so that's good. Here, let me get another light so you guys can see this a bit better. Where is my light? Uh-oh. Please tell me you didn't break. Oh, great, my LED panel broke. Never mind. Well, that sucks. Great, my LED panel broke. Never mind. I have a little cheap USB LED panel, and apparently I left it on last stream and it don't turn on anymore. Oh well. There we go. There we go. Science. Speed like any other body will be great. The DIY integration will need some time to mature. Yeah. Like that's a cool thing with the Index is it's, yes, they are working with Prusa so that, you know, you can buy a pre-made, well, a nearly pre-made solution. I don't think they're selling the Core 1 and the Index together. Because here's the thing. I've seen a lot of people like, why aren't they selling the Core 1 with the Index already attached? Prusas are built in Prague at Prusa. They already have all their assembly lines and everything set up. And as somebody who was there like a month ago, they don't have a lot of extra room. So they would have to find room to have a completely new assembly line and workflow for Core 1s and Core 1Ls with the integrated Index system, because the Indexes are made in Sweden. So they're two different products from two different companies. They're working together, but I don't think you'll see an integration unit where it's like you buy it already pre-made and pre-assembled and it's all good for a little bit. They got to work out those bugs. Because remember, Index is a Bondtech system. So it's gonna be a goat combo. Oh, it makes so much more sense than like it just makes so much sense. Like if you're wanting to do a lot of, like, the only other option to do that many colors, like obviously it's not going to have as many color options as a AMS/MMU type feeder system. Okay, it just, you won't. Simple as that. Because you have physical tool heads and you're limited to how many tools you can put in the printer. However, if you're putting an index on a printer with clipper, there is absolutely nothing from stopping you from taking one of those heads and attaching a box turtle to it. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from attaching a box turtle to one of those heads. Yeah, you'll have to do some shaping, tip shaping, but it's clipper. You do what you want, dog. Nobody's babysitting you. Nobody put you in a walled garden. So, like, it's definitely, it's going to be interesting to see what the ecosystem will be like 2 years from now. And why only one head? Why not all the heads? Put a AMS or put a not an AMS, put a Vivid, put a box turtle, put it on all the heads. Why not? So. Box turtle, implex, multiplexer. Yeah, because like the only other way to get like most of the AMS and AMS clones, you can daisy chain them, right? I know bamboo you could do up to 24, but that's single nozzle, which sucks because you got to purge and it's only multicolor, not multi-material. Index is true multi-material. 40 months, 39 months. Oop, Dune with the 43 months flexing. Yeah, because the only downside is if you're buying a Core 1 and then putting the index on it later, you're basically overpaying for the Core 1 because you're buying the Core 1 with the next extruder, which you take off. So it would actually be a bit cheaper if you bought a Core 1 without the next extruder. I don't know if they plan on selling that as a SKU or what, but it is what it is. Plus, as far as we know, Prusa might be the first of many companies working with Bondtech. I have no clue, right? How is the Delta build? It's built. Now it's printing. It is a little on the stringy side. It is a little on the stringy side, but that's okay. The status of the testing on the Core 1L? Fine. It's printing right now. Let me grab a part here. I'll grab this part because it fell off. I've been printing parts for the Astromech. This is PET G, and it printed like this. And there was a little bit of support to about here, but this was a PET G part printed on the Core 1L, and it literally, like, this is all gonna be post-pro. It's white PET G. But this literally printed with just this on the bed and then a string, like one solid support piece to about here. So I was like, oh geez, people are doing stuff. Who was that? Who was that? Who was that? Stabby Unicorn, thank you for coming, a channel member. Cheers and appreciated. Lee Smith Workshop gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated. Mr. R. Shroot, 21 months. Oh, you're doing good. You're doing good. Wayne gifted 10 community memberships. Cheers and appreciated. Cheers. Bowden equals stringy prints. Yes. A little on the string. Just more to tune. More to tune. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. But yeah, you just need a little bit more tuning. With direct feed setups, usually you can kind of just eyeball that and you're usually good across the board. With Bowden, usually like you might have to actually do some per filament tuning. With direct feed, it's like, okay, 0.4 retract on a 0.4 nozzle with a direct feed tool head is good for like 90% of use cases. I'm running anywhere from 0.6 to 0.8 on the big guy, because it's got a bigger nozzle, longer melt zone, but it is what it is. Prefers direct. I prefer direct drive too. Or correction, direct feed. The problem, okay. Direct drive is I don't think I have one up here, no. Direct drive is when the feed gear is on the drive shaft of the NEMA 17. That is direct drive when you don't have gearing, okay? Direct feed is when the extruder is on the tool head itself. The problem is, that's what I refer to it as. We have no international standard. There is no official standard for tool heads, or like nomenclature in 3D printing, right? It's like we call bed flingers Cartesian printers. Cartesian is just a grid system. Cartesian's a grid system. It has nothing to do with motion, but we call them Cartesian print. That's why I like calling them bed flingers, because they're, yeah. So direct feed is when the extruder feeds directly into the hot end, in my opinion. That's what I like to refer to the term as. So direct feed is directly in, it goes straight in. Yes, there's sometimes a little piece of boat in between the two, but for all intents and purposes, extruder directly into the hot end, usually on the same tool head. That's direct feed. Direct drive is when your extruder gear, the tooth gear that contacts the filament, is directly on the drive shaft of your NEMA 17. Geared extruder is when there's gearing in between them. Belted extruder is when it's a belt between them. So this is a geared remote feed Bowden extruder, because it's a geared extruder remotely feeding the tool head with a Bowden tube. There is a little bit of rattle. Something is rattling. I wonder if putting those elastic bands on for pre-tension would help with the rattle. That might help with the rattle. So, all-wheel drive is yeah, quad XY. Like this machine, I fixed the screen with more gloop. This machine, I like referring to it as a quad XY, not four-wheel all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive makes more sense for a V2 because you have 4Z all-wheel drive, four wheels, all-wheel drive. This is quad XY. It's like people that call their computer a CPU. My CPU isn't working. And it's like, no, it's the whole computer is a computer. It's a tower. The CPU is part. It's like people call this a hot end. It's like, this is a tool head. I mean, people call an extruder a hot end, so. Yeah, something's rattling somewhere. It could be a panel somewhere, but all the screws are tight. I mean, I'll be honest, there is a rattle, but it's a very, like, put it this way. Let me walk on the other side of my shelf here. Okay, so on the other side of my shelf, I don't hear the rattle at all. I hear the fans from the Core Ones more. And the fans of the Core Ones aren't that loud. Or actually, not even. I hear the motion of the Core Ones. So, like, as soon as you're like 5 feet away, you don't hear the rattle. Or there's anything. The rattle doesn't travel. Unlike this I hear inside. This I don't hear inside. So. Hold my palm on. No, it's not the panels. Is it the top panel, maybe? No, it's something in the tool head. Something in the tool head is rattling. I don't know. It's not that bad, to be honest. And it's the joints. Yeah, it's probably the joints. I put a little bit of grease on them, maybe. We'll do that. Well, after this print finishes, I don't know where to put them. Oh, after this print finishes, I'll put a little bit of white lithium on the joints, and I'll put the elastic bands on, just to make sure that there isn't a rattle, like just to ensure that it's preloaded. So 50-50. Yeah, it could be the fan rattling. It could just be the fan rattling. Although it sounds like it's coming from... I don't know. What orange? It is Prusament Galaxy Black ASA and just Prusament Orange PETG. So. Let's see the Venture XL enclosure. Have you observed the temperature in the chamber? Well, by enclosure for the Venture XL, are you talking about the blanket I threw on it? Are you talking about the blanket I threw on it? And also leaned some foam up against it? It's sitting pretty at about 40 Celsius in the chamber right now. It's not sealed up. There are gaps everywhere because I literally just threw that over. So there's gaps everywhere. It's not sealed up. And it's not insulated because it's literally just a bed sheet. It's not even like a comforter bed sheet. It's like the thin bed sheet. So when I actually get the insulation panels, then I'll do proper testing. And that's what the droid looks like right now. You can really tell this was the dome. This was before the rebuild. And then these bottom parts, the black is after the rebuild. So you can really tell how, like, even before the rebuild, there was something mechanically funky with it. With the layer stacking. Now it's fine. Did I put the black tape on the end stops? No, I just have them painted with marker for now. Well, VFAs will always be there until we move past the absolute cheapest motion systems in the world. So. It makes more sense to call the hot end nozzle the extruder and the part called the extruder and the filament drive. No, the extruder extrudes the plastic. The extruder is the thing that pushes the plastic. The hot end doesn't do any extruding. The hot end doesn't do any extruding. There is nothing mechanically active in the hot end. It's just a heating element. It's a block of hot metal and a heat sink. So the hot end doesn't extrude anything. The extruder is what pushes the filament. So it extrudes the filament. And then the hot end just melts it. The hot end is just the melt zone. Yeah, your extruder can extrude without a hot end. Simple as that. The hot end can't extrude without the extruder. The extruder is the thing that makes the extruder extrude. So the extruder is the extruder. Because without the extruder, the hot end's just a hot block of metal. The hot end won't extrude anything. No, the tool head is the tool head. The tool head is a component comprised of multiple subcomponents. So the tool head is the part of the tool or the printer that is the tool head. Tool heads exist on CNC machines, they exist on 3D printers, they exist on pick and place machines. The tool head is the tool head. It does ooze. This is what I mean. 3D printing terminology is right messed. We just kind of go with the flow. Put it this way. Every company I know that sells hot ends calls them hot ends. They don't call them extruders. And every company that sells extruders calls them extruders. So that's my my way of going with it. How they push 2020 through die? Very carefully and with a lot of force. Also, I believe it's very hot too. Does anyone have a video of how making aluminum extrusions? Does anyone have a video of making? Yeah, there we go. We're gonna go on a detour. So this is how you make aluminum extrusions. So you got these blocks of metal, and they're hot. Oof. And they just get shoved through. It just gets shoved through, and then it pulled. Yeah. You just shove it through a die, really hot, and it comes out the other end. But how do they put the hole in the middle? How do they put the hole in the middle? So if you wonder why I don't believe using your extruded aluminum frame, your V-slot extrusions for a motion system, it's because notice how none of that is precision. It's just kind of shoved through the die and it comes out and they kind of pull it straight and that's good enough. That's because it's not a precision motion system. Multiple dies, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Close enough for government work. The government works? You see the left and right nozzles aren't interchangeable. Of course they aren't. Why design a system that uses how many nozzles does the Bamboo ecosystem have now? You have the X1 nozzles and the P1 nozzles, which are physically the same nozzle, but they use a different connector. So you can't take a nozzle or a hot end you bought for the X1 and put it in a P1 because they are physically a different connector for the electronics. So 1, 2, then you have the A1 nozzle or hot end. And then I think the H series has its own. And now you have the H2C swapping nozzle. The company's been around for 3 years and they already have 5 different hot ends. Like, holy hell. So it really sucks if you like buy into the ecosystem, you buy all the hot ends for one printer, and then you're like, oh, I'll just get the next printer. And I'm pretty sure the P2 uses a different one than the P1. So if you had a P1 and you bought a bunch of different hot ends for it, and then you buy the P2, you can't just swap them over. You have to buy all new hot ends. Ah. Yeah, according to my little thermometer, it's like 40 degrees in the chamber here. I don't think it's, I think it's a little bit hotter. Because I did what I did last night with the, I checked it last night. I put the tool head smack dab in the middle of the chamber, so 300, 300, 300. And I ran the bed at 100 for half an hour. And after half an hour, the extruder and the beacon coil were reading 40 Celsius. So that means 300 millimeters up in the middle of the chamber is reading 40 Celsius. So. Andrew Rogers, $10. Nozzles all the way down, I know. The H series worked on the A1. Okay, so that's good. But not the H2C. So if you have an H2C and you have to have 2 different stocks of hot ends because you can't just swap them, and they have the nozzles built in. So if you want to have 0.6 nozzles and 0.4, you have to have a full set of them, of both. Let's look at the Stone Wolf. I don't have a Stone Wolf, so I can't really comment on it. I've seen it a couple times. It's pretty cool. Have to go to the store. Take care, Canuck. We're just printing right now. When the print's done, we will put the elastic bands in And then I'll double check everything's tight, and I'll put a little white lithium grease on it too, just to ensure that we're not having any anything dry rattling, essentially. Yeah. But also, don't forget, at the end of stream, we are giving away one of these kits. So if you want one of these kits, enter for your chance, link in the video description. While you're down there, don't forget to also enter for a chance to win a polymaker spool of filament. And it's Black Friday. Companies are doing sales right now. I do have affiliate links in the video description, including Polymaker. They have a big Black Friday sale on right now, up to 45% off filament. So if you're wanting to do a big project like I am, and you want to stock up on the big old spools of fiber on filament, 45% off is a pretty good thing right now. So check them out, link in the description, use the affiliate link, save some money, and support the channel. Not in Europe, aw. Yeah, the Stone Wolf is very much an art piece printer. Idle question, when you use an SSR and a 2.4 and you set the max bed heating to 60, no, Stabby Unicorn, that's kind of old information. You want to set it at 100. You want to set it at 100 now. Back in the day, I think it came from Duet. I think the information came from Duet. There was an optimal heating amount per square centimeter math thing, which basically is like you don't want to heat your bed up too hot because you can cause it to taco. And it was like it was based on, like, I can't remember where the idea came from. It was like the problem with like any kind of hobby like 3D printing, there's a lot of like tribal knowledge where it's like you do it because you watched a video that said to do it, and the person who made the video did it because somebody on a forum told them to do it, and that person did it because some guy at a meetup, a 3D printing meetup, told him to do it that way. There's a lot of like tribal knowledge like that in 3D printing. And for a while there was the idea that you don't want to heat up the bed too much or too quickly. FUD lore. Yeah, FUD lore is another. I like the term tribal knowledge. But yeah, FUD lore. So there was that FUD lore where you wanted to run your bed at, for what most beds that came with kits for Vorons, about 60%. It's like 0.6 watts per square centimeter or something like that was the math. It turns out that did nothing. All it did was just made your bed slower. It didn't hurt anything, but it just made your bed heat up slower. So running it at 100 actually doesn't matter too much. The tip is basically add a timeout in it so that the bed can heat up and then sit for a couple minutes at temperature and then go print and you're good. So it does taco the bed, but then it normalizes. So the trick is basically let the bed heat up. Like the big guy, I have it set for like 5-10 minutes. So the bed heats up and then it sits for like 80,000 milliseconds or whatever. It's like 5-10 minutes. And then the print starts and it's fine. So. Like right now I'm getting, for the print I'm printing right now on the big guy, I'm getting a 0.167 millimeter range from highest to lowest point on the bed mesh, which for a 600 by 600 bed ain't bad. So. Forum, huh? Boomer. Back in my day. It's better than the mesh range your ender gets. Oof. That's not good. Yeah, it's kind of funny how much FUD lore and whatnot exists in 3D printing. Tribal knowledge and whatnot. If you have a cast bed, I've seen a cast bed taco, but what we're thinking, the reason that we're thinking we thought beds tacoed a lot back in the day, how is a Voron bed mounted? You have your 2 mounting points on each side. So you got 4 mounting points. So the bed is only supported in the corners, essentially. Well, back in the day, before easy peasy flex plates, what did you do when a print got stuck to the bed? You're trying to get those prints off. So back when we used to just glue a sheet of PI to the bed, a lot of time you are, you know, scraping that print off, you're pushing down in the middle of the bed. So over time, you're dishing it. You're one, scraping off a little bit of that PI surface every time, like if you refinish it or sand it or whatever. And you're slightly bowing the bed over time because, oh, the bed's still hot, you're pushing on the middle. You're causing it to ever so slightly bow over time. Now with flex plates and the fact that, you know, you take a print off by just going, and then you put it back on, there's a lot less force involved. Like the bed is seeing a lot less force, which is a lot less chance of it bowing on you. So. Down here. Yeah, it's gonna be a little fuzzy, I think. Print's gonna be a little fuzzy. Oh well. Fuzzy wuzzy was a print. Fuzzy wuzzy. So. Glass beds. Well, glass doesn't really flex. The bed underneath, the support underneath the glass might flex, but glass shouldn't flex. It's glass. It breaks. The stock configs are like that, Gergman, because nobody's bothered to update them. Nobody's bothered to update them. So you can go ahead and change it to 1.0. Like you should be running your beds at 1.0 power. So. Same with hot ends. Same with hot ends. Make sure you're running your hot end at 1.0 as well. 3D printing. Yeah, we've kind of moved on. Everyone's basically moved to flex plates. Like flex plates with 3D printing is kind of where it's at now. Everyone's kind of moved to flex plates. I'm of the opinion they're the superior option nowadays. It's so much nicer to work with a flex plate. It is so much nicer to work with a flex plate. You just kind of, you know, you take your bed, like, oh, print's done. I'm doing another print. Take that off, put a new one on, move on with your life. Like, oh, I didn't even have it on camera. You can just swap the flex plates. Actually, maybe that's why this one's bowing so much. This is such a thin flex plate. Put a thicker one on. Do I have any thicker ones? 300 millimeters. You're premium. Ooh, actually. No, you're 250. 250, you're 250. You're 250. You are 250. They're all 250. Oh, this is your Creality size. Why do I have a Creality size one? Okay, I guess we'll go with this one. Nero. It's one of the Fabrico ones that they made for me a while ago. Will it fit? It does fit. Good. That seems to be a bit more stiff. There we go. Like, if you guys want to hear a loud printer, I can fire this up. This actually prints really nice with the that profile too that I have on it. Resin. Wham Bam makes resin flex plates. Wham Bam makes, yeah, there are flex plates for resin machines. Wham Bam makes them. I don't think any resin machines sell with flex plates, but Wham Bam does make them. If you're printing 500 millimeter ABS parts, I mean, I've done CF PET G. Like the parts on, don't want to dox anything there. I mean, it's mostly work stuff, but this is a 500. This is the bed's 600. This is like 480, I think, is the diameter, and this is CF PET G. Now, to be fair, the garage, when I was printing this, was, this was before I enclosed the printer, and the garage was like 15 Celsius. and no lift on that. But I haven't tried a big ABS print on it. I'm waiting until I get the printer properly enclosed with insulation panels before I actually print ABS in there properly. I am printing ABS in there right now, but they are two smaller parts. I'm printing, where is it? These two parts. So this is for the back door. So, and this is just Polymaker Polylite ASA or ABS, the 3 kilogram spool. Try 500 by 500 by 30 plate with 100% infill ABS. I'm not going to waste 500 pounds of ABS. that would waste so much. This is the chamber? Yeah, this is the chamber. Install crow's nest, and also, what are you running Linux? You remember, you're running Linux when you run Clipper. So you're running Linux on a system on a chip. So it's all about encoders and processing power and whatnot when it comes to cameras. So if you're running like a Creality machine with a very anemic SoC, you might have problems with high frame rate with high resolution. I'm going to be doing a video. I'm waiting on the panels to come in. I was hoping the panels would come in this week so that I can enclose the printer. I could print 1 or 2 big ABS prints, and then I could do a sit-down talk about everything I've changed on that printer, what I think was the problem, yada, yada, yada. But it hasn't come in yet. So I might do 2 videos. We'll see. Because I know a bunch of people have been asking me about that, and I'm like, I will answer it in a video. But basically, I faffed about with a bunch of stuff. Am I going to get a mini split? We'll see. Right now, the garage is actually pretty fine. With the printers running, it's like, what is the temperature outside? Also, I got to do some savings. The mortgage got paid off, but the savings have gone because I've paid off the mortgage. So we got to do some saving. So luckily, I live in Canada, so I don't have to worry about, sudden medical bills or anything stupid like that, but still. It is 1 degree Celsius outside. I do have this on low, but I turned it on when the stream went live. And honestly, I'm just going to turn it off. With this this printer ain't doing anything. I had 2 Core 1s running, a Core 1 and a Core 1L. I did have this one running earlier, and with the big guy running, the garage is like 18 Celsius right now, which actually isn't bad. And it's 1 Celsius outside. So as long as I have some printers running out here, my garage is actually insulated enough now to trap the heat. Also, it helps that shelf that you see, I redid all the, my garage is smaller. Here, I'll show you. I will show you. So we'll go mobile. Going mobile. There we go. So, zoom out. Okay. So, hi. So if you can see, this goes all the way up to the ceiling. So I have a heavy duty canvas pulled across behind the shelf. I also have fire blanket, like moving blankets. So it's pretty thick. So it's moving blankets and heavy canvas insulation. I also have a door. Yeah, it's not the most sealed, but guess what? It traps all the heat on this side of the garage. And that's the ceiling because the camera moved. So it keeps basically all the heat on this side of the garage with the printers running and everything. So it actually works pretty good at keeping this side of the garage warm. So. FPS is 5. The longer I leave this on, the slower the frame rate gets. It's cursed. Still getting 11 FPS at 40p. It could be a network thing too. Raspberry so one of those instead, I think. So here's the thing, Andrew, to think about. Yes, you could run Clipper on anything running Linux. You could build a thread ripper machine with 128 terabytes of RAM and dual 5090s and use that to run a 3D printer with Clipper. It's Clipper. It just needs Linux. Okay, massively overkill and a waste of time. But that lies the problem. If you're running Clipper on a computer, and I know a bunch of people did this during the Raspberry Pi shortage. A lot of people were buying or using old computers to run Clipper. You have to think about power consumption. Yes, you're saving a little bit of money going with like an old NUC or an old computer. Oh, I got an old i5 3700K or something. I'm just going to use that because I have it already. It'll run Clipper. Yeah, it'll run Clipper great. It's also going to cost you how much power because you're leaving that computer on all the time. The power draw will basically... Raspberry Pis sip power, right? They don't use a lot of power. A desktop computer does, even in low power mode. So what you save in power up or save in cost up front, you end up paying in power on the long run. And if you're like me, where I leave all my printers on all the time, because I'm not going to turn them off. I just leave them on. They're all set to turn. Make sure your fans turn off. Just make sure you don't have any fans in your printer that are on all the time, because that will kill the fans really quickly. Just make sure your controller fans and everything just kind of shut down when nothing's being used. And I leave my printers on all the time. Good idea. I have free. Oh, if you have free electricity, because like it's part of your rental agreement or whatever, then who cares? Run a crypto farm. Joel used to do that. Joel's old studio, he had power was included with his like rental or whatever, so he didn't pay extra for power. So he ran a crypto for a bit because like I'm not paying for the power; it's free money. Have I tried multiple print? No, I have not. What's my thoughts on the Fiber Seeker 3? I don't really have much to say other than continuous fiber is cool. And if you're printing stuff that will make use of that, that seems like a pretty cool option. I don't know about print quality and price and reliability. I just know current options for continuous fiber are expensive because I see the people that sell those machines at trade shows like Rapid, which are expensive trade shows. So if it's cheaper and it works as good and you need to print continuous fiber, I'll be honest, I could make use of it, but I guarantee you a lot of people don't need continuous fiber. What are you printing that needs continuous fiber? Like, it'll be cool for those that can make use of it, that there will now be a cheaper option. So, Bearded Printer gifted a community membership. Cheers and appreciate it. I've always wanted to try connecting my printers to a NUC that runs my home lab. Sucked them in independent dough. That's the other thing too. If you have two printers and they're sharing like a Raspberry Pi or a NUC, those two printers are now attached. So you can't just like, oh, I'm going to move this printer over. Nope. They got to stay attached. And with Clipper, which is very anal about timings, I would not want to run like, 100-foot USB cables everywhere to connect everything. So they, if you were setting up a print farm, if it was like, hey, I'm setting up print farm up for my keyboard printing company because we print keyboards. And since I'm printing nothing but keyboards, my entire print farm is nothing but custom Voron V2s that are 300 by 450 by 150. And they're all custom and they all sit on a rack and nothing ever moves. Okay, then it could kind of make sense to network them and share Raspberry Pis, right? Like use NUCs to run 3 or 4 at a time, right? Okay, it starts to make sense. You're not moving those around. But like, I move my printers around too much to be like, okay, these two are now attached. I can't move these two because they have to be attached to this thing via USB. So you got 6 feet. It's like those video games you see streamers play where they play a game like Minecraft or whatever, but the two characters are tied together with a chain. It's like they can't go more than a certain distance apart. It's like you got to be careful of that. So. What's the specs on it? It's a 110 print volume, so 110 cylinder by 110 height. It's a Delta. The frame is. There are aluminum extrusions. There's 3 aluminum extrusions for the verticals. Everything else is printed. And we do have rails as well. There are rails, obviously. So there's 3 rails, 3 aluminum extrusion. So that's the only metal in the frame. The rest of it's printed. But that's the part of the frame that you want to be metal. So. And then don't forget, at the end of the stream today, we are giving away a kit for a Delta Flyer. So if you want one of these printers, you can win one at the end of stream. Oh yeah, I walked the other side of the garage here. I can definitely feel it's colder over here. It is definitely colder over here. Le burr. And when you have 2 printers on one Pi, keeping the can numbers the same. Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. Most kits now come with an SoC. Either the controller board, you know, either you're getting a controller board that has an SoC built into it now, or the kit comes with like some sort of Raspberry Pi equivalent. So nowadays, most printers are coming, like if you buy a printer kit, it's coming with everything. So it's not like, you know, 2020 era where it's like, oh, hey, COVID, nobody could get Raspberry Pis and we're self-sourcing kits still, or we're buying kits and the kits didn't come with Raspberry Pis because nobody could get them at the time. That kind of made sense, but nowadays it's like it comes with it. You might as well. Plus it makes it all in one package. So I like keeping things clean and organized and neat, but that's just me. I need to figure out what to do with this rock chip. The Venture XL, this was what was running it before. It's a touchscreen, but it has a rock chip RK3568B2 running Linux. And unfortunately, it's not like I can just swap it with a Raspberry Pi because it's a different connector. CM68. See how powerful that is. Maybe I could put something on it. CM68. Compute module. Yeah, no, that's it right there. Yeah, that's it. That's the same thing. Sure, I could do something with this. Put RetroPie on it or something. Still self-sourcing for to the most annoying part of self-sourcing is the heat bed because the local stores don't sell under €2. So yeah, so if you're looking at Kyber, if you are fully self-sourcing, what you may want to do is stop looking for a printer bed and just look for a slab of aluminum. Just look for like cast tooling. I can't remember what the proper like ATP5. What's the common aluminum bed? Shit, I used to, I knew what it, I know what it is. I just can't remember. It's been so long since I've actually said what it's called. What's the aluminum? Just look for a bed. Just get a, depending on if you're, I'm assuming you're in Europe, Mike 6, yeah, Mix 6, which is, that's a brand name, by the way. So you want a cast plate that's blanch ground, right? Mix 6, ATP5, 50, 30, 52. Like there's a bunch of different names for it, but it's a type of aluminum. Just you get an 8mm thick by 300 by 300 slab of aluminum, drill the holes yourself. You can do it very easily. I have a video on my channel on how to do it. It's very easy to drill aluminum, drill and put a hole in aluminum and counterpore it. It's very easy. You only need 2 drill sizes, an electric drill. And then just buy a Canovo heater and stick it on yourself. And then put the magnet on yourself. Like you can make the entire bed yourself using nothing meant for a 3D printer. That's what we did back in the day, right? This is my first Voron bed. This was the bed I made myself for my very first Voron, which is now Tallboy, because I swapped the bed on and on. But this was 1/4 inch because this is all the aluminum, the metal supplier in my town. They didn't have 5/16. They had 1/4 inch ATP5 aluminum plate. So I got a 1/4 inch by 300 by 300 millimeters. It's actually 12 by 12 inch because, fun fact, Voron beds are actually inch standard. 10, 12, and 14 inches. They're not metric. Obviously, they're converted to metric, but they are actually designed with inches because Max is in California. So anyways, that stuck a Canovo heater on it. I drilled the holes myself. You could tell I've moved the holes around a couple times. And then I stuck a magnet on it. So I made this bed myself, fully from scratch in like 2018. So you can roll your own bed. You don't have to buy a pre-made bed. ATP5, it's just another name brand for aluminum. ATP5. Like, I'm pretty sure it was ATP, yeah. Cast tool, like. Even Mike 6 is a name brand for a type of aluminum. So ATP5 is just a type of aluminum plate from a company. That's what they carried. I'm like, hello, Essex Metal Supply. I need a cast aluminum tooling plate that is this big. What do you have? And they're like, we have cold rolled and we have ATP5. And I'm like, I will take ATP5. Because that's what they just had in stock. So. Almost done. We're at 95%. It does look awesome. This is a very aesthetically pleasing printer, I will say. 5083 alloy. I don't know off the top of my head if 5083 is good. It should be. Did I machine it at the workshop? Originally, I did. I originally put slots in it for how it mounted, or no. Originally, I drilled it by hand because the way it mounted on a V1 was just blind holes, I think. Just drill and counterbore a hole. So originally, or vice versa, I can't remember what I did. The first time I did it by hand, and then the second time I did it, I machined it because I put slots in it. I wanted it to be cool, so I put slots in it. Because I think originally for the V1 mounting, I just drilled holes by hand, and then I counterbored them by hand. But when I moved it to being a V2 bed, on the V2 bed, they're slotted. I brought it to work and I just used a Bridgeport because I can use a Bridgeport. So I used a Bridgeport. An aluminum bed on the Core 1 mains. Can you mount a bed fixed on 3 or 4 pins without bending or heating up? Yeah. Yeah. Voron beds, V2 beds are mounted 4-point. And on a Trident, they're mounted with 3. Because here's the thing. You remember, there's no force. In a perfect world, your 3D printer has no forces on the tool head or the bed. Okay? If something is pushing on the bed or pushing on your tool head, something's wrong with the 3D printer. Now, obviously, you do have bumps, you know, it prints curling or whatever. And, you know, you occasionally, you push on the bed a bit. But, you know, unless you crash your machine, there's no force on the bed. So it only has to support its own weight and the weight of the print, which for an 8mm thick slab of aluminum is no problem, you know, over 300 millimeters. So this is mounted 3 points. We got to mount here, mount there. So, and then on a V2 bed, it's 4-point because that's just how it mounts. such a good moderating advertising. Are you, Apulo, you're advertising gamer subs? You mean this delicious drink that you can purchase using the link below and code Canuck to save 10%? Print's done. So it is a little on the stringy side. So we're gonna have to fix that. Ooh, it's hot. I'm gonna go throw this in the oven, or throw it in the oven. I'm gonna throw it in my freezer for a second. Oh, there's my Eggos. I have so many Eggos. Okay, this is not... Oh, that is disgusting. I forgot it's doing that. I gotta throw that out. Okay, I'm gonna throw that out. My freezer doesn't like my beer freezer. I have a beer fridge out here. As soon as it starts to get like a little cold in the garage, the freezer doesn't freeze anymore. So yeah. Oh, it's 20%. Oh, Gamer Subs is 20% off today if you use code Canuck, apparently. Is it? Gamer. You know, I should probably pay more attention to the emails they send me. I'm a bad brand partner. Oh yeah, there you go. 20% off site-wide with all creator codes. There you go. Use code Canuck. Any chocolate prints in the freezer? No, I aided them. I aided my chocolate prints. Can I make this colder? Colder. Make the stuff freeze that's supposed to freeze. Also, it probably doesn't help that that isn't sealing it. There we go. There we go. Print come off. So... So it's supposed to like twist, is it? A second here. It's a rocket ship. Apparently it's supposed to twist. It's a twisting rocket, but I don't know how. How is it supposed to twist? Where's the joint on it? Okay, so that's a bridge. That bottom part comes off. Does it come off? The top should twist. Oh, I see. I see. It don't want to. The seam is making it not want to. That is a pretty gnarly seam. So we got to do a little bit of tuning on the profile. Yeah. Yeah, no, it ain't twisting. It ain't twisting. I mean, it looks good except for the stringiness. Yeah, that bottom comes off. Yeah, like in terms of like that side's smooth. That's butter. But the seam is a little gnarly, which is probably causing some interference on the inside because it's supposed to be, yeah. So that seam is probably causing some interference on the inside. Pliers. Let's see, can I? Yeah, it's not spinning. It's not spinning. Okay. But other than that, it actually came out pretty good. It's just that stupid seam. So I'm gonna have to do some tuning on the retractions to make it want to actually. Yeah, it's not moving. Yeah, it's the seam. It's the seam is too aggressive. But speaking of, we gotta now play around with this because we need to make sure that everything is all nice and loosey-goosey. Ankle's still bad. I thought did you get to your appointment? Gonna get moved up? Yeah, we gotta play with the retraction settings. Somebody find me a nice vase mode print. What would be a good vase mode print for purple? We'll do a nice vase mode print. Because vase modes always look cool. Okay, so apparently you just kind of... Do I just hook these on one side to one side? Because there's preload. So we'll do some preloading. these on. Print upside down. I could print upside down. Do you guys want to print upside down? We could do a vase mode upside down print. I can print upside down. It's a delta. This is kind of... Do it? Okay. Oh, you know what? It's totally the arms. The arms are... There's a bit of play in the arms, which is normal, but I'm pretty sure that is why we're having that sloppiness. It's definitely a bit of rattle with the arms. So hopefully, if I put a little white lithium grease on them or something, should get rid of the flop. The belts are nice and tight. Thomas gifted 20 community memberships. Cheers, Thomas. Appreciate it. Nope. Okay, this one doesn't want to stay on your arm. There we go. Thomas lives in Argentina where memberships are really cheap, so. And YouTube does a thing where you get, it's regional pricing for memberships. So. It took me a minute to figure that out because I saw that he's done it a couple times. And I do appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, I do appreciate it. And everyone who gets to be a member appreciates it. But when you pull up the metrics and it's like, why? Where's the income? And it's like, oh, that's right, because they don't count. It doesn't work that way. Okay, this is kind of annoying to do. Try not to touch the super hot end. Oh, this would have been nicer and easier to do. This one popped off. Okay, so that's that. My pad light, it is on, it is on. I don't know how I'm going to grease all these up. Should I just use a Q-tip? Trying to see if we can sort out the rattle issue by just kind of putting a little bit of lubrication on everything so that it kind of fills up any potential rattle gap. Try not to get grease on my panels. it after. Yeah, good enough. It's a bit of a mess, but whatever. It's just grease. Okay. So that's that. Thingiverse.com/thing. Link it in the Discord. Search. The viral, yeah, the G-Create rocket. Everyone likes the G-Create rocket. We'll download the G-Create rocket. Open in Cura. No, I don't want to open in Cura. Download the file. Okay, so what else might have been rattling in here? What else might have been rattling? Like, everything's solid. Yeah, okay, well, maybe it was just the arms just kind of being a little dry. There you go. Okay, well, whatever. Let's print something. Okay. See how that goes. Delete. Add. Okay, that's a bit too big. So I think we can go to 110 as our 109. Oop. 109. There we go. Okay. Cancel. Vase mode. Yes. And then strength, we're going to do a little bit of cheating. So what you do is you outer wall, you do 150%. And I can't remember if it's, so you want to over extrude your walls when you do base mode by quite a bit, and it makes it look better. There we go. Print, let them print. So see how it goes. Ooh. Because I don't think you guys want to watch me tune extrusion or retractions. So I will say, I jinxed myself with the Core 1L. I have not had nozzle cleaning issues on any of my Core 1s. Okay, that's a lie. Any nozzle cleaning issues I've had on the Core 1, you know, where, you know, the Prusas, they don't have a wiper. They just do like a little nozzle cleaning routine. We're talking like 1 in a dozen, it would error out, and I just hit try again and it works. It's ever really been an issue. The Core 1L, it's, with Pet G, it's been an issue. PLA hasn't been an issue. Pet G, half the time it's like, nope. However, if I just hit ignore, prints come out fine. So I've just been hitting ignore. So maybe I will do the mod and put a wiper on it, but I'm not super concerned. Jeez. Support on this thing is really... These are pre-supported models, so this isn't Prusa Slicer support settings. They're the built-in support, which is very overdone, in my opinion. But for how little the Patreon is for these files, I'm not going to complain. Yep. What are we at right now? we're waiting on the bed to heat up. Okay. A little bit of string. Oh well. I'm gonna have to get a sanding booth built up soon. I will say they still has really nice layer stacking. It's half the reason I like these machines. Just really good on layer stacking. Okay, which one of these? Switch. Are they different sizes? Oh, these are tight fit. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to force you in, because if I force you in, you're never coming out. And that's the wrong way around, that's why. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come out. Come out. Not printing upside down. Oh yeah, I gotta print. You guys want it upside down, right? 1 second here. 1 second here. We'll do this one normal, and then I'll do one upside down after. I'll do this one normal, and then I'll flip it upside down for the other one. So that goes there. This one goes here. Oh, that's really tight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little fitment fiddling, but the bottom things on the our astromech. I gotta not call it R2 because it's not an R2. It's an R6, but the body's the same. Yeah, we'll do this one normally, and then I'll print a different one. I'll print a different one upside down. The rubber bands will fall off like that, will they? Oh, they're supposed to wrap. How do they? Do you do them on both sides or just the one? They just kind of. Okay. I will rewrap them after, and then we'll do it upside down. So you go from one around it, then around the other and hook on. Oh, 1 band per arm set. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, I will do that after this one finishes. Does the heat wear the bands out? I would consider them a consumable, maybe. Same as I would like a, I don't know, it's consumable. We'll say it's consumable. Cement, G. Doors. So we need 4 of these doors. Should I put a brim on it? Yeah, we'll put a brim on it. Put a brim on it. This is how I'm keeping the garage warm. I'm just making the printers print. No point. Why would I pay extra to run a heater that outputs 1,000 watts of heat when I could just print with 2 printers that each of them will put out 1,000 watts combined? Silicone bands do a better job? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they're not even needed. They're just there for preload if you want to use it. I will say it is a bit quieter right now. So I'm wondering if it was the rubber bands or the grease, but it is a little bit quieter. So, yeah, I'm not hearing the same rattle that I did before. Like, although to be fair, I'm also printing a vase mode print, but I'm not hearing the same rattle I did before. So I'm wondering if it's the grease that I put on the joints, or if it's the bands. But either way, it's quieter. So. Get the FL Sun SR. I have the FL Sun, I don't know, whatever the big one is right here. It makes a really good dust collection machine. I need to get rid of it. If you live in Southern Ontario near Windsor and you want to buy the big FL Sun, not like the newest one, but like the big one. I can't remember which one it is. I swapped the blower around on it. Reach out. I'll sell it to you for a good price. Or trade for a camera. Well, the print isn't warping, so we're good. Oh, no, it is warping. That print is warping like a mofo. That one is warping. Okay, let me do... Is that one warping too? Okay, only one is warping so far. So we're going to cancel the warping one. Ah, shit. Did I set up object cancellation on this printer? Crap. How do you do object cancel in print in Clipper? Where is it? Which one? Oh. Because it's the rear one. So I gotta wait for it to get to the back one, and then I hit this button, I think. Next to pause. Oh. Exclude object. But, okay, so we got to cancel this on. Exclude object. Rear panel. Yes. Okay. There we go. Hopefully I did the right one. Okay, good. 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 So I did exclude the right one. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to warp, and it's a door, so I can't be using a warped door. The Tico live again? The Tico's right there. It's right there. It does live. It's on right now. The Tico does live. It's on right now. I can connect to it. Yeah, I can connect to it right now if I wanted to. I leave it on because it's a night light. It's like, it's just accent. Like, you can't see it because I got stuff in the way. But when you plug a Tico in and it's not connected to anything on Wi-Fi, it just pulses the light. So I just leave it on. I just leave it on as a set dressing. Flipperize the Tico. I think I could. I don't know anything about. Here's the thing. I don't want to. I want to leave the Tico alone. It's a classic. It's a Tico. It stole so many people's money for a shitty product that was crap, and it didn't deliver, and everyone was angry. So I want to keep it like stock. It's a Tico, man. And you know what the best part is? It actually prints. Like, it actually prints just fine. My Tico prints just fine. We've printed on it. Do I use it? Define use. I've plugged it in. I have printed on it. It hasn't done anything in a couple of years, but it does print last I checked. Yeah, see, like, nozzle cleaning failed. Ignore. And it'll print fine. It's ambiance. Exactly. It's that there. It's just ambiance. Yeah, it just, you can see the light pulsing next to my little rainbow light bulb that spins. It's ambience. I love how, like, I put stuff up on the walls like this maple leaf for art, and then I end up just blocking it all with, like, prints. Do I have any prints from it? Not anywhere around here. I have a video on my YouTube channel. There's a video on my YouTube channel where I showed off some prints from the Tico. Here's the thing. It doesn't print bad. It just prints really slow, and it has no part cooling fan. So it doesn't even have a hot end fan. The hot end's just ambiently cooled. It just prints really slow with no part cooling. So as good as you can get out of a printer that's printing slow without part cooling, that's what you're getting out of a Tico at best. Drill a couple holes in the clear stuff. Boom. Current air cooling. I'm sorry. I do not like current air cooling. I think it's very loud, very wasteful, and it causes more problems and downsides than it benefits. Current air cooling is a crux. You want better, more directed cooling, because you want the part to cool enough to solidify to it holds its position, but you don't want to blast it with so much air that it basically returns back to ambient temperature. You want to, in a perfect world, and it obviously depends on the plastic and what you're printing and the geometry, so it's an imperfect thing. But in a perfect world, you want your print cooling homogeneously, evenly. You don't want a big temperature delta between like the top of your print and your bottom, because your bed's hot, then the print cools in the middle, and then it's hot at the top where you're just laying down fresh plastic. That causes constriction and uneven shrinkage, which causes warping and buckling and layer delamination. There's a reason you want your print, like your print chamber when you're printing like ABS and ASA, you want to keep that shit hot until the print's done, and you let the chamber come back to temperature. Who here, I've done it, has watched a beautiful ABS print finish, a nice tall ABS print, and go, okay, oh, print's done, open it, and then all of a sudden you start hearing cracking because you let it cool too quickly. Leave your printer closed until the print finishes and the chamber returns to temperature or ambient. You'll get the best results. Sweet Acid Sweet, cheers for becoming a channel member. Thank you. Chamber temporary ASA. It depends on the actual specific formula you're using of what filament, but there is no, the hotter the better until it gets too hot that you start running into problems. Can you print ABS in a 30-degree chamber? Yes. Can you print ABS in a 40-degree chamber? Yes. 50? Yes. 60? Yes. 70? Yes. The hotter the chamber, the better the results. It depends on what you're printing. If you're printing Voron parts, right? Voron parts are relatively squat and flat, okay? So you can get away with printing perfectly fine, usable Voron parts in ABS and a machine with like a garbage bag over it. I've done it. It works. Will they print better if your chamber was 70 degrees Celsius? Probably. But in your use case, will it be an issue? Maybe not, probably not. Somebody the other day was like, you need a 55 chamber is not hot enough for PPS. Okay. The tool head on this printer, which is chooching along just fine for the past month or so, that's in PPS on, and guess what? Pantheon. Yeah, the Pantheon hot end will do 500C all day. Chamber only gets like 55, 60. Prints PPS just fine. No layer delamination issues. If you anneal it, the creep issue goes away. Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to always be 100% perfect. Good enough is sometimes good enough. Now, what am I running into? The problem I'm running onto right now is I am printing stuff this tall in ABS in a chamber that's only 40. Now I'm running into problems. So it depends on what you're printing, in what material, in what conditions. Yeah. If you can get your chamber, if your printer can hold a chamber temperature of 50 Celsius, you could print most things in ABS just fine, in ASA, okay? Most things in ABS and ASA, you could print just fine in a 50C chamber. Drop your fan down or even turn your fan, your part cooling fan off completely. I do like to run a part cooling fan with ABS and ASA on a very low amount. It just helps clean up overhangs, and if you're blowing hot air onto the print, it's pretty good. But if your chamber is like, you're pushing, maybe you'll get 50 if you leave it on for a couple hours. Maybe turn your part fan off completely. Wait till the print cools completely before you open the chamber. Heck, throw a blanket over the printer. That'll help. But yeah, you're making stuff out of literally on the cheapest CNC motion system most companies can cobble together using molten plastic splooged out of a hot end. You're not printing parts for NASA. You're printing desk trinkets that you'll probably end up throwing in the garbage in the next year anyways. So, curling overhangs at 50? Yeah, probably. I mean, I've seen curling overhangs in PLA. Like, curling overhangs are a thing. That thin of a plastic cooling, depending on the degree of the overhang, they curl because it's hotter on the bottom because heat rises. So the heat from the bed's hitting the bottom of the print. So the print on the bottom is staying hotter than the top because the top is also having it's having air movement. So the top of the print is going to be cooler. So the filament, the plastic on top cools, which constricts, which causes it to curl. So you need a very, very hot chamber or very, very little air movement so that the temperature on the top and the bottom of the overhang is the same or close enough that it doesn't cause curling. You will always see curling on an overhang. It's just the degree of the curling is what is the issue. I love watching it because it's printing this and then it goes to print here and goes, wait, I'm not printing this part anymore. And it goes back over. Watch. Wait for it. Oh, this is looking real good. Is it warping? Nope, that one's not warping. That was the chamber temp. It's not the greatest because I don't really have a chamber. I have a blanket thrown over it and it's sitting about 40-ish. I wish it was hotter, but it's sitting at about 40 in the chamber. Hopefully when I actually insulate it properly with actual insulation panels and I seal it up properly, because throwing a blanket over a printer does not a sealed environment make. Also, a blanket is porous, so air could go through it pretty easily. So it's not exactly sealed up, but it's holding 50. I just wanted to print something tall in ABS just to see how it would handle it. So I'll probably end up going back to CF Pet. Should use some Hudson Bay blankets. Hudson Bay's gone, man. Hudson Bay's gone. Don't forget, we have an hour left in the stream, so when this print finishes, I'm going to print another print upside down, because why not? We're going to flip the printer upside down, try an upside down print, and then we're going to do a giveaway. So if you haven't entered yet for your chance to win, we're giving away a spool polymaker filament at the end of the stream, which is always fun. We do that every stream. But we're also giving away a kit. LDO has graciously provided us with a LDO Delta Flyer kit to give away. So if you want to build one of these, you can just buy the kit from it wherever fine LDO products are sold, or you can luck out and win one. Any 3D printing tech? Probably Index. Isn't Canadian Tire bringing it back? Crappy Tire owns, I think they bought the naming rights so they could sell stuff under the Hudson Bay brand, but like, it's not the same. Like, the Hudson Bay company is like the same Hudson Bay company that literally Hudson's Bay is named after, that owned like a quarter of my country at one point, back in like 1647 or whatever. It's that Hudson Bay. So they've been around for that long, and then freaking private equity killed them in a decade. Canrog, do you have that link? Delta Flyer printer. Where is that link? Do you have that link? I'll put that link in, I'll put it on the YouTube page. There we go. Where to buy? Get your Delta, okay. It's all LDO kits, right? If they're all LDO kits, I'll add that. There we go. There we go. I put a link to this page here in the video description. So there we go. There we go. There's, yeah. Hudson Bay colors. It's not the same though, man. Not the same. Yeah, this chamber is, I could put my hands on like the panels and it's like nowhere near warm. Like the panels are warm, but like this printer back here, when I have it printing ABS, the frame gets hot. Like the frame gets hot. You can hold your hand on it, but the frame gets hot. The Venture, the frame ain't getting hot. So on the bright side, I don't have to worry about thermal expansion issues. Also, I do need to get some air circulating in that thing too, to evenly heat up things better. But that'll be after I get it properly enclosed. No Canadian resellers for the Delta Flyer? No. I mean, you can buy from West 3D and Fabrico will ship to Canada. Same with KB3D, I believe. I know Fabrico has sent me stuff several times without issue. West 3D, I think, has also sent me stuff, if I'm not mistaken. But why are you going so slow? Oh, it's bridging, that's why. Hudson Bay Company was founded in Fort Vancouver. Yep. Import is, it is what it is. The only, I think Sparta 3D is like the only official Canadian reseller of LDO stuff. So, but I don't know if they have, I've bought from them before too. They're good folks. Yeah, I think they're out of stock on a lot of stuff. Yeah. 3D Lab Tech. I don't see a Delta. I see some LDO kits. Jabberwocky kit, but I don't see a Delta Flyer kit. It's not a US import, you'll pay duties. Yep, that's the shitty part. You'll get, the package will show up and then UPS is gonna be like, you owe us like $150. And you're like, son of a bitch. So, it is what it is. I mean, in 1670, it was all England. Like, yeah, I know. It's like, oh, it was founded in Seattle. It's like, it was founded in a territory of the UK. It's like, you know, the reason it's called the White House is because, you know, we burned that bitch down and y'all had to paint it or whitewash it. That's why it's called the White House. The War of 1812, it got burned down. And Canadians are like, oh yeah, you know, we burned it down. And Americans are like, well, actually, it was British troops. And it's like, yeah, British troops. Canada was part of Britain at the time. So, part of the same company, same country. So yeah, we did burn that shit down. Dang red coats. I've worn a red coat. That shit is not comfortable. It is heavy cotton. Wearing that in the summer sucks. Lost the war. The war where the Americans tried to invade Canada and failed. Yep. They did lose. You're doing the tearing it down now. Oh, I know. Oh, will it make that little spike? Oh, it made the spike just fine. It did. It made the spike just fine. Heck yeah. You don't have to be online to win, but you do have to be here to enter. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It did a little spiky spike. It made the spiky spike fine. Okay, so I have to fix the, whatchamacallit. So let me unplug it. So I got to fix this, the elastics. Find me something fun to print that would be fun to print upside down. Short print, half-hour-ish print that would be fun to print upside down. There we go. Yep. Try not to touch the hot end. Don't touch the hot end. The hot end is hot. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's that. Also, where is my black marker? I want to paint this even darker. I think I have a black paint marker somewhere. This one had a black paint marker somewhere. Right here. It is amazing how much you suck at doing stuff with your offhand. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now we got to flip this upside down. How do I flip this upside down? So spool's got to come off, obviously. Well, the spool holder won't work upside down. I'm gonna have to figure out a different spool holder. Grab some 1, 2, 3 blocks. Because yeah, that should be okay. 1, 2. Where's my other 1, 2, 3 block? How did I go from having so many of these things? I have 6 1, 2, 3 blocks. What did I use them for? Where did I put them? I gotta find them. Did I use them over here? Are they over on this side of the garage? No. Because I gotta put it on something so that the fan can breathe. Parallels. I could put them on parallels. How did I lose all my 1, 2, 3 blocks? Seriously. Like, how do you lose 1, 2, 3 blocks? I have a half dozen of them. Where did I put them? Seriously, how do you lose 1, 2, 3 blocks? They might be downstairs. Kangaroo. Well, find a kangaroo print. That's a quick, easy print, and put it in the Discord. Plug this in. Plug it in. Plug it in. That'll work. There we go. Lights are on. Waiting for it to boot up. I know the tablet's light's on. I'm using it to light up the print. Okay, the printer doesn't want to connect. Am I missing something? Don't tell me I broke it. Flipping it upside down shouldn't cause it to break. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on the filament because it's gonna ooze. Kangaroo. Is this AI? It's AI slop. Nope, fuck that. We do not partake in the AI crap here. We do not do AI slop. Fun fact, log into your printables account, go to your settings, you can disable viewing AI generated models. None of them are really good models for this. Yeah, you go into your settings, log into your printables account, go into your settings, you can disable viewing AI models. You know, we'll just do the dragon, or not the dragon, the little we'll do the gargoyle. I like that gargoyle. Gargoyle. There we go. Gargoyle upside down makes sense, right? Okay. Oh, I gotta adjust my camera angle so we can see the top of the printer. There we go. No, that's okay. I know I've fallen for it too, because if I forget to log into my printables account or it kicks me out and I'm not logged in, then it'll flash me an AI model, and I'll be like, oh, there we go, and I'm like, wait a minute, nope. Flip the camera upside down. There we go. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. 1 second. There we go. Like, wait, I gotta put the bed back on it. So there is our little rocket ship that printed. Yeah, right. Put the flex plate back on. Oops, that would have been bad. The fact that there's no like locating pins for the bed is kind of annoying, but it's a circle bed, so I kind of get it. It is flipped vertically, so. So you'll look at it and be like, oh, it's printing fine, but it's upside down. Wait, does the light not turn on when it's printing? Do I gotta... Is the light just a static light? Because I want it to actually like go bright when it's printing. Where is the light? Aziz light. Light's at 100%. There we go. Wait for it to start printing so it'll connecting. That should be. I can't remember if the light turns on or not. I gotta double check. It's heating up right now. Oh, here we go. Where is that? There's the light. Actually. Well, that's well, that it's working. Yeah, look how good that print looks. First layer is good. You know what it means? If the first layer is good, that means there's not a lot of slop in the system. Because usually a lot of times on printers, you rely on the gravity to preload your Z-axis or something. And the fact that this first layer is coming out really good means we're good. The screws on the right look like maybe. Yeah, that's a perfectly good first layer. It's upside down. Ooze problem solved. Yeah, you don't got to worry about ooze if the there ain't nothing to ooze. Right, Ivan? There's a little bit of ooze. Hopefully it's not gonna be a problem though. I can't believe how well it's working. Wait 1 second. Let's see if I can do this. Drop this down. There we go. There we go. Yeah, this is Prusament Galaxy Purple. Like, you won't even know it's upside down right now, except for the fact that, like,
There we go.
Yeah, it is nowhere near rattling like it did originally. So adding the elastic bands and putting a little bit of grease on the joints got rid of the rattle. So. Am I upside down or is the printer upside down? I mean, I'm actually sideways right now. Turn the camera right side up. What are you talking about? The camera is right side up. The camera's totally right side up. Let me get a better light here. It's awkward to do. There we go. My head behind the fitter. Well, I don't know. Screen capture it. One second here. There we go. Weird techno spider. Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see the weird techno spider. And we have all this room for activities back here. So one thing I probably will do is change the power outlet. Right now, the power inlet, like this brick of power, feeds into the bottom or into the top. I'd rather the power inlet be like here and then feed up. So that way you can plug and unplug the brick without having to take the top off. So what I might end up do is redesign this one printed part right here so that the inlet is right there, and then drill a hole in the side panel so I can mount the actual plug right here in the side. So I might do that because the run the power up would just be running down the slot here. So that's the only annoying thing, is the power for this runs into here and it's like, it's kind of annoying. So you don't have a use case. This is a kit you buy because you want to build a printer and then you want something a little fun, a fun thing after. Did I see? No, these are 6mm belts. These are 6mm belts, not 3. They're 6. You can see the motors there. They're 6mm belts. I have 4mm belts somewhere downstairs, but these are 6mm. Or 5, or whatever the standard size is. 5. Yeah, the chamber is actually cooled down. The chamber now out here is reading 37.8 Celsius. So yeah, it's definitely not hot enough to print ABS reliably in its current setup. So I'm gonna have to go back to printing CF PET G. Or actually, I'm out of CF PET G now. I gotta move to CF PET. So. Build difficulty, not difficult at all. There were a few hiccups with the manual of things that I requested input in updating. Like I gave some feedback on the manual while we built it. So they made some improvements to it. If you've built a printer before, you should have no problem building this. And now with how the manual is now, with some of the critiques I've said been addressed in the manual, it's even easier now. So it is a pretty easy build. My printer requires my attention. No, it's good. I love how the Prusa app sends me notifications, but it's like a 30-minute delay. I don't know if it's like location or whatever, but it's like a 30-minute delay between like the printer has a problem and then I get the push notification on my phone like 30 minutes later. So it's like, oh, the printer needs you to check on it. I'm like, it's good. Does it have any bed probe? No, there's no bed probe. What you do is you basically home it to the top. So it does like a home to the top, so it knows where home is. And then it goes to like 7 points in the bed, and you just use your piece of paper and you just bring it down till they're all pushing on the paper the same amount. And then that way it's trammed to the bed, and then you just set your Z offset and off you go. It's actually really easy. And the printer is so small, you shouldn't have to adjust it. Like, unless you do anything weird to the printer that would cause like it to dimensionally shift too much, you really shouldn't have to worry about it drifting. Like, it's a 100mm bed. If you can't manually level a 100mm bed, you shouldn't be doing 3D printing. I'm sorry. It is such a basic setup. Works like a charm. Yeah, as long as, like, here's the thing, as long as your printer is built well enough that you don't have like mechanical drift, you shouldn't have to worry about re-leveling the bed. Like, it's nice to do a quick bed mesh, especially like if you print different materials on a big bed. Beds heat up and they flex different amounts at different temperatures, yada yada. But like, if we're talking like a 250mm bed, that's like cast aluminum, so it shouldn't warp too much under heat change and temperature. Like, you should be relatively the same. Like on my Vorons, on my V2s and my Trident, what I normally do before I put like probes like Beacon and whatever, so back before those probes, what I would do is I would do a big bed mesh and I would save the bed mesh. So I would heat the printer up, let it get to like whatever my temperature I normally print at. So if it's an enclosed Voron, odds are it's gonna be printing ABS. So I heat the hot end to like 170, I heat the bed to like 100, and I let it sit for like 20-25 minutes. Let it all just heat, soak, and get to temperature. And I run a good bed mesh, and I save that bed mesh. And then I never run a bed mesh again. Because what I do is I just tell it on startup, do the tram. So tram the bed to the gantry on a Trident, or tram the gantry to the bed on a V2, and then just load the bed mesh. And 99.9% of the time, perfect first layers. So on a printer like, you know, my Venture XL with a 600mm bed that's made out of 4 separate beds, then yeah, having a beacon on that is really nice. Especially with camp. It makes bed meshing really quick. But it, you know, the bed mesh, it's funny, I pull up the bed mesh every now and then, it looks the same every time. So. Overkill. I got a beacon on 120 mil. A beacon, it's not a cheap probe either. That's the other thing. A beacon's not a cheap probe, so it's like, that's a lot of money. Well, not a lot of money, but it's a decent amount of coin on a printer that probably wasn't that expensive. What's that noise? Oh, it's just a drying noise. The only thing you got to worry about when printing upside down like this, there always is the chance the print fails and falls onto your print head. Cartographers are decent. Here's my thing with the cartographer, and nothing against the cartographer team or anything. I'm all for more options. I'm all for more options, right? When the cartographer, I have cartographers on some machines. When it works, it works. When a cartographer is working, I have no issues with it. The problem is when they don't work, they're a pain in the butt. Beacon just works. Now, when they're both working, I honestly can't tell the difference between either of them. I'll be honest. When they're both working, they're both working. But every now and then, cartographer just has a problem, and it's just a pain in the butt. Whereas the beacon just works. So, but I think the issue I was having with the cartographer the last time on the Venture XL was a CAN bus issue. So if I had swapped the cartographer back to USB, I guarantee it probably would have worked fine in the Venture XL now. But I was lazy and I already have a beacon that's set up for USB. I'm just going to plug the beacon in. So that's what I did. Plus, I couldn't get tap working, and I wanted tap to work. So. Yeah, such a small bed like this, you shouldn't need ABL. Like. I'm trying to figure out what that's for. Was I supposed to put a screw in here? Was I supposed to put a screw in here? There's a hole that goes to the... Oh, I was supposed to put a screw in these. I'm missing the screw out of these. So I only have the screws on the side, which honestly are probably enough. But there's supposed to be a screw that goes through here into the frame, which I don't have in. Okay. That's good to know. Here, let me focus this. I don't know if I can. Focus on that. A little bit better. There we go. USB here, unless I'm driving a car. CAN bus makes sense at certain lengths. The Venture XL is USB by the fact that the EBB36 Gen 2 comes with a rated USB cable that's 2.5 meters long, and they guarantee it to work at that length. Beyond that, you start running into issues with USB. Okay, USB is not good at long runs. It's not. CAN bus makes more sense at longer runs. So if you're building a big printer or a printer with a bunch of multiple tool heads, CAN bus makes sense because you can daisy chain it easier. But the EBB36 Gen 2 that BigTech sent me, that's in the Venture XL, that they tested up to 75-degree chambers. It's good. It's good on the full length of the run. They did a whole bunch of testing on it, and so far it has been really good. USB 3 has 25. The problem is, how many 3D printer clipper controllers are running USB 3? Also, how many 3D printer controller boards are running USB 3? Yeah, you know, in a perfect world, a Thunderbolt USB-C connector can go pretty far. Dog, people are building printers with like controllers that could barely handle a webcam. Like, companies are cutting corners left and right when it comes to building stuff for 3D printers. Because it's like, shit, we need Clipper. That means we now need to have a computer in our printers. That's one of the reasons, like, the bottom floor for printer costs, if you're running Clipper, you need to include something that can run Linux. with it. That's one of the advantages Prusa has. They don't have to deal with that bullshit. Prusa has the advantage that because they're still running their custom firmware, which is derived from Marlin, they could run on bare metal, essentially. They don't need to run Linux on their printers. Like, as of right now, as far as I'm aware, it's pretty much Bamboo, which on their machines, they are running Linux, by the way. At least the X1 did, and I'm pretty sure the H series does. They are running Linux. And then you have firmware. On a lot of other companies, Creality, Cheedy, Centauri Carbon, you're running Linux, which means now you have to deal with all the potential security issues that having Linux, a computer hooked up to the internet, pulling updates from who knows where on your home network. Again, not saying you have to worry about, what Creality might do, but you have to worry about if a nefarious person gets into Creality's system and now has control over your printer. You don't have to just worry about the company, you got to worry about nefarious people. It's the internet. Whereas these are just running on ESP, on STMs or whatever. Like you don't have to connect them to the internet. They're not running Linux. It's not as easy to just run executable code on it. I can run freaking Doom on this thing. I can put Doom on this. I have put an AI in a printer. You can run an AI LLM on a Raspberry Pi. If you're running Clipper and you built the printer yourself, you probably have a Raspberry Pi in there. You can run an AI LLM on your 3D printer. It's fun until you realize, oh my God, all the security implications of being able to run custom code on 3D printers. So. EBB, Canva, stealth printer, and 2 printers got a timer too close there. Was that I'm assuming that's one of the older EBBs. The newer ones are much better. I'm running the EBB 36 Gen 2 on the Venture XL. I don't know how much uptime I can have. How much uptime do I have on this printer? History. So since I rebuilt this printer, I have, what do we got here? 234 hours of print time on it. Obviously, a lot of these prints are failed prints because of, quality control issues. Remember, we were trying to figure out the issue with the layer stacking, why it printed like doo-doo. But during all that time, I didn't have any issues with software. Like, no issues with MCU timers, nothing. With the Physec electronics, I did have a couple. Every now and then it would throw it would lose connection, like a timer too close error, and I'd have to reboot the machine. Usually it was during startup, luckily, so I don't think it failed any prints. But there were a couple times where I went to home the machine at the start of a print and I would get a timer too close error. I haven't had any issues software-wise since rebuilding it with all Bigtree Tech electronics and also going to normal off-the-shelf Clipper instead of whatever Physec was running on it. So. It is nice that this is running bog standard Clipper on the Venture XL now. I will say, it is nice. I'm gonna let this print finish just to see how print quality it is, because I do have a bunch of this crappy, or not crappy ABS, but I do have a bunch of the bulk ABS, Polylite ABS. So I'm gonna let this print finish on in the big guy, but I probably won't actually use the print. I just want to get hours on it enclosed. Make sure it's healthy. I'm still running the OG Gen 2 prototype board on the VAR, and it's been in a situation way outside the Bigtree Tech envelope in 105 on the MCM. Yeah, I'm running it. It's got, I got heat sinks on it, but no fan. And it is, it's running at 86. So this is the hottest it's been, actually. So, the chamber isn't, getting hot. It's running at 86. It's got 2 heat sinks on it. So, if I got to put a fan on it, I'll put a fan on it. I'll have to figure out how to put a fan on it because I don't think I have any free fan headers on it. Because I think they're both all 3 are being used. But I do have heat sinks on it. So. So we're going to be doing the giveaways soon. So So if you haven't entered for your chance to win some Polymaker filament and a LDO Delta Flyer kit, links in the description. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We stream 3 days a week, so subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you want to help support the channel, content I create, things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. Best way to support the channel. Or hey, it's Black Friday. Go do some shopping. Gamer Subs has 20% off right now. Use code Canuck. Polymaker has a big sale on right now, and a bunch of the other companies in the link below have sales right now. So check them out. Oop. No, we're good. Or actually, I think that noise is this. Actually, one second. I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to go pop my head inside and see what the family's up to for dinner. Okay, I'm back. Gotta figure out what we're doing for dinner. We're going out for a like a Christmas thing tonight. Like the city's doing some like a stroll the street type thing, but like a Christmas themed one. So it's like, should we try and make food before that or just grab something while we're out? And I think we're just gonna grab something while we're out. Do you want my FL Sun S1 Pro? Which one is that? Probably not, I'll be honest. Oh, I have one of those. I mean, I have the S1, not the Pro. Is that what it is, the S1? Yeah. I have the S1. Yeah. I have the S1, not the S1 Pro. I have an S1 right here. I haven't used it in like a year plus, but I have one right here. I need to get rid of it. The giveaway, the prize is open to wherever LDO ships, which is pretty much worldwide. So if you live on like Ascension Island, don't enter, but North America, EU, Australia, the usual suspects, you should be good. So yeah, I gotta get that printer insulated better. Am I printing upside down? Yes. It's a Delta. It's fun to print upside down on a Delta. It's just one of those things that you can do on a Delta. Why is it upside down? Does it matter? Doesn't seem to matter. It's upside down because people wanted to print upside down. It's one of the... With a Delta, so with a lot of printers, usually you rely on gravity for some sort of preload. Usually like the bed. Like if your bed moves on lead screws, like for those that don't know, if you have lead screws, there's actually play in the bed. You usually have play in your bed, okay? So if your printer, the bed moves up and down, just go and the bed will move up and down. So if you flip the printer over, it'll be preloaded in the opposite direction and you can't really print. You'll mush that first layer. So a lot of printers have preload in one direction. Deltas don't, because the beds are fixed and then your Z moves on belts on a rod. Now, to be fair, a V2 you can print upside. A Voron V2 has the same setup, right? A Voron V2, belted Z, fixed bed. You can print upside down on a V2 just fine. I've done it. On a V0, for example, the bed's cantilevered, so it does kind of droop a little bit in the front. So if you flip it upside down, it'll droop upward differently. So you'll have to relevel it. But a Delta, because of the mechanics, you can literally just take it and just do that, and it shouldn't affect the print at all. So it's a neat party trick with Deltas. Will I have surprise tariffs if you order off BQ's website? Maybe. I have no idea. Depends what Orange Man is thinking that day, I guess, if you're American. Yeah, I definitely need to get a hotter chamber. This ABS is not happy. What is the biggest delta you can buy right now? No idea. Like, are you talking like commercial off the shelf or a hang printer? You can build a hang printer pretty big. Off the shelf, I don't know. I think the FL Sun S1s are about as big as most people go for deltas. I'll be honest, not a huge fan of big deltas. They have a lot of downsides. Deltas are cool. They're not efficient in the Z. So this printer only has a print volume for Z about this tall. Like, see how tall this print is? This is how tall of a print you can print in this printer. This is as tall as you can go in this printer. Okay? The printer itself, 1, 2, 3, is 3.5 times taller than the print volume. Okay? Deltas are not efficient in the Z. The XY isn't too bad. You can see the bed there. So you can see how big the bed is versus the printer frame. So on the XY, it's not too bad efficient-wise. The Z, it's horribly inefficient. And the problem is with a delta is you have to compensate for inaccurate steps. A step is a different distance closer to the bed than it is at the bottom of the tower. So you have to software compensate for step distance being inconsistent, which can lead to geometrically inaccurate parts potentially if it's not set up right. Also, your print volume isn't a cylinder. It's like a cylinder and then it tapers a bit at the top. So deltas are cool. There are some advantages to them. But like the best way I could put it, a Voron 2.4, a flying gantry Core XY, does everything a delta does but better. It has pretty much all the same advantages of a delta. Fixed bed, low moving mass. It moves in the Z very smoothly. It's really fast. But you don't have to deal with the delta quirkiness. So. Delta FL Sun. Yeah. Like if you were only ever printing tall, skinny things, deltas make sense. Willow Creative, she does cosplay stuff. I follow her on Twitter and whatnot. And she has a Anycubic Predator, I think it is. I think it's the Predator. A modified one that has extra Z. And she uses it for printing like swords and blades and stuff like that. That kind of makes sense for a delta. Because belt printers are funny. So that kind of makes sense. But you really need a specific use case, I think, for a big delta. So. Like another advantage too, this plays in with temperature. Prusa Pro has their delta that they print, like you can do high temp like peak and whatnot. The advantage with the delta, how many motors are in the print chamber right now? How many motors are in the print chamber right now? Right? Your motors are not in the print chamber with a delta. So you have your extruder outside the chamber and you have your Z motors outside the chamber. So a delta is easier to, there's less in the chamber that is affected by heat too. So that is another thing. FL Sun has open source ethics issues. Which China market company doesn't right now? Deltas can be quiet. Oh, you know what's actually probably the quietest printer I have in my garage right now? The Venture XL. That thing is, now that I have a blanket over it, I can't hear it running right now. I can't hear it running. Delta moves are like, oh yeah, deltas look really cool. Turn off noise canceling. Yeah, 1 second. Filters, okay, noise canceling disabled. And close the door. It does have some panel vibration noise. I will say it does have some panel vibration noise. But it doesn't travel far. Also, we're sitting on metal blocks on a non-secure base. That's not bad. Not bad. I mean, to be fair, this is a budget kit too, guys. Like, it's a DIY budget kit. So... And you can always, you know, run it slower if you want it to be quieter. Like, on the other side of the room over here, I can't hear the Delta. Then again, you guys probably can't hear the Venture XL. It's actually surprisingly quiet, which is actually pretty nice. The noise makes my Q1 sound like a rocket. This thing is quiet. Actually, that's what I need to do. Speaking of thermistor, I got to run a thermistor in the Venture XL. I'm going to run one from the gantry where the Bowden tube comes in all the way down to the controller so I can read temperature inside that thing. Shoot, actually, I might not be able to. BTT Kraken pinout. Do I have any extra temperature readouts on this? Because I have... Okay, no, I do. I do have one. I have the bed. Because these 4 are already connected to the bed. Because there's 4 beds in the printer. So I do have one free temperature thermistor. Okay, cool. So I can do that. So I gotta run one of those. Just gonna stick one thermistor in there so I can read the temperature in the chamber a little bit more accurately. There's a sit to the limit somewhere. Yeah, like I'm sure, like, yeah, they could have used more expensive joints for the effector arms and whatnot. Like, you can make this printer quieter, right? You foam gasket around the panels. Like, there are ways you could have made this quieter, but then it gets more pricey. It's a budget kit for a budget printer. Like, it's quieter than some of the other, you know, consumer printers at this price point. You have a Gen 2 board in the embedded. The problem is it's reading the temperature of the board, I think. Like, there's the EBB 36, but that's like the board MCU temperature, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, so it's reading the temperature of the board. Because I really, you know, it'd be really nice, but I don't think the chamber is 86 degrees or 85 degrees Celsius or whatever. Add a thermistor to the flyer. There's a oh, cool. I mean, I could. It wouldn't be too hard to just cut a hole, like, just stick it in the top there, but I'm not going to be printing ABS on this. This will be printing PLA and maybe PETG. I mean, the effector arms are PETG. Everything orange on this is PETG, so I'm not going to be printing ABS. I'll print one thing in ABS just to make sure it does print ABS. But positron delta. If anything, this is more of a rook delta. Oh, positron because it's upside down. It's a rook delta, just upside down. Okay, we're gonna be doing the giveaway in 2 minutes. If you haven't entered yet, for a chance to win some Polymaker filament and the big prize of a Delta flyer kit. Link in the description. Enter now. Get your chance to win. You want to win, right? Done Maker, can you link if you got that in your config, can you just copy and paste the G code for that? And I'll add it to mine. Yeah, we're gonna do the polymaker draw first. We're doing the polymaker draw first. So you got 1 minute to enter for that. And then whenever we finish that draw, then we'll do the big draw. And I'll do like a big battle royale for the kit. So we'll make it a DM. Okay, cheers. Because I just copied the example config for the EBB 36 Gen 2. So I don't know if it's in there or not. So I don't think it is. Okay, let's, we got soon. What's my go-to ASA ABS? I flip-flop between Polymaker and Prusa. I have a lot of Polymaker, and disclosure, Polymaker does provide me filament when I need it, up to a certain amount. So I use it, and it's good stuff. Although I will say, to nitpick, I wish they actually sold like ASA. The Polylite stuff, the Polylite ABS and whatnot, it's good stuff, but I wish they actually had just a non-diluted ASA or ABS filament. I think that's why I'm liking their ASA GF08 stuff, because it's just regular ASA with a low percentage CF, but you need a hardened nozzle. Not all my printers have hardened nozzles. So honestly, I like Prusament ASA, but I don't have as much of it. I print more of the Polymaker stuff because I have it. And it does work good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, I wish it wasn't a blend. I wish it wasn't like an ABS plus. I wish it was just regular ASA. So. If you can find it, MG94 based ABS. That's my, if everyone had it, that's what I would buy. MG94 based ABS. So most filament manufacturers, so they don't know, they don't make their own filament, or they don't make their own resin. They buy bulk resin from another company, they add their colorant, and they extrude it into filament. So a lot of the time when you're getting Polymaker filament, guess what? That's the same filament as bamboo filament. That's the same filament as white box label that you're getting at Micro Center, because it's all made from the same resin, the same raw material. They're just extruded in different locations, or to different specs and whatnot, and different colors and whatnot, and blends. But if you can find ABS filament that's made with MG94 resin, mwah, that stuff's beautiful. There used to be a local company in my town that made that shit. My Mando suit is mostly that stuff. It prints beautifully, amazing layer adhesion. You can extrude that shit so fast. It's literally like the filament that they used to make speed benchies. It's great filament. The problem is not a lot of people make it. So, okay, let's do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. So no longer accepting responses. We'll do the Polymaker spool first. To a sheet. Copy the names. So here's the thing. Hopefully Notepad uncrashed itself. Save. Do marbles. How many companies? Some do, some don't. A lot of it's Ingeo or Sabic. Or Sabic, or however you pronounce it. 338. Random. I don't like the space one. It takes too long. 338. Okay, so this is the Polymaker draw. How this works is if you win, you get a spool of filament from Polymaker. But if I pick your ball and your ball wins, you are the luckiest ball in the world. Well, not as lucky as the ball that wins the Delta Flyer. But if I pick your ball and you win, you also get a free hat. We'll go with this one right here. Who's this? Lucas Reese. If you win, you get a free hat with your spool of Polymaker filament. Good luck. What are the odds? Well, you have a 1 in 338 chance of me picking your name. And then it's a 1 in 338 chance of winning. So whatever those two combined are is your odds of winning. So far, I've been doing this for like 2 or 3 years with the free hat, 3 times a week, and nobody's won the free hat. So One day someone will. This print is actually printing really good too. Oregon, who's in the lead? Oh. Yes, if you win this, you get the spool of filament, and then I will also send you a free hat from the merch store. Be retired. Ah, Mikhail! You gotta stay on the track, man. Be retired. I wish I'll be retired. In this economy, with this channel's view count. Oh! Master Moon! Master Moon! Master Moon with the win. F. Master Moon. That's a decent answer, I guess. What was the question? What's the last thing 3D printed? Okay. So you will get an email from me. I'm actually going to take care of this now so I don't forget. So let me do this right now. So you have until I finish filling out this paperwork to enter for your chance to win a Delta Flyer kit. We're going to be giving away one of these kits in like 5 minutes. So enter for your chance. Do this now. Because I don't want to see anyone going, oh no, I forgot to enter. This is your chance to enter. This is your chance to enter. I'm just taking care of the polymaker winner right now. Look at it go. This is actually printing really nice. Waiting on an email. Checking my email. Hope it's from a female. There we go. Okay. Send. Okay, Master Moon, you should have your email on the way. Okay, so now let's do the Delta Flyer giveaway. So no more responses. If you missed your chance to enter, I gave you plenty of time. Also read the pin thing in chat. So that is that list. I'll save. So we have 387 people entered for that. Okay. So, race menu. So we are going to go back because we're going to do this a little bit bigger. We're going to do a Royale. Add names, clear, open. So we have 387 people, finish. Random. 387. So these take a bit longer, but this is for a Delta Flyer kit. So this is like a battle royale scenario type thing. So this is going to take a bit. May the best ball. Good luck. Winner gets a Delta Flyer kit. Oh, we already got people getting eliminated. A Royale with fries. Oh man, I could go for a greasy burger right now. Oh, look at everyone getting eliminated. Fight, 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 fight. So I think it's like when you hit somebody, you do damage to them, and if somebody hits you, and it's all AI, like it's all bots. 387 people entered for their chance here. So we got 42 people left. You can see how many people at the top left. Down to 39. Is there like little exploding barrels in there too?
Battle Dome.
Oh, Battle Dome. Oh, who's in the Battle Dome? Now, if only it was a GameCube. Like, warning, incoming game.
Top 10 situation.
10 people left. So I guess if you get in the Battle Dome, it could be good or bad. Because you're isolated from everyone else. So if you win the Battle Dome, you're protected.
Battle Dome complete.
Oh, 8 people left. 8 people left. I think it goes by number of kills. I don't know how it goes. I don't know if it's, I think it's just whoever's last. Oh, so it's whoever's last, but then also whoever, that's how many eliminations there is. So we got 7 people left. Yeah, so it's whoever's the last one standing. We got battery boost, Rose. Oh, battery boost, Star Rose 3. Oh, Star Rose 3 in the lead. Ballot V, second 08. Frickaplat. Come on. Ballot V's got no health left. Oh, health boost. Oh. Oh, it's Rose or Ballot. These are 2 people that actually are active in the community. Rose! Star Rose 3. Go Rose! Disclosure, although obviously there's no fixing, she did the channel logo. So, just so you're aware. But, obviously there is no fixing involved because you saw it. I don't even know if you can fix these games. So congratulations, Rose. You have won yourself a Delta Flyer kit. Make sure you build it the right way up. I accidentally built mine upside down. So it's upside down. So don't do what I did. Don't build it upside down. Let me pull up your info here. Yeah, 1 of 1. There we go. So congratulations, Rose. Woo! Just for verification, there you go. Sweet. Okay. Let me send off the notification. Okay, Jason. Hey, happy Friday. And Delta Flyer kit is. There we go. So congratulations, Rose. I don't know if you're in chat right now, but you were earlier because you can only enter if you're here. So yeah, this print is going pretty good. I will post pictures of it when it finishes. I don't know. Lighting isn't the greatest, but it's going. So I will share that when that's done. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. Tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow on stream? I don't know yet. I'm really hoping the panels come in so I can enclose my Venture XL properly. So if those come in today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow if they do come in, that's what we're gonna be doing. If not, we'll figure out something else to do. And then we gotta start getting ready for the next build, which is either gonna be, we have to build a, the Cocoa Press, we gotta upgrade to the V2 Cocoa Press, or the Stealth Changer. One or the other. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll do a poll or something. Anyways, we're going to call it there. Huge shout out to LDO Motors again. They provided the Delta Flyer kit for this build series. They did materially sponsor this build series. If you are interested in getting a Delta Flyer kit or any other fine LDO products for yourself, I do have a link in the description to the resellers for the Delta Flyer kit. So check them out. So huge shout out to Jason and the LDO team for providing the kit for this build series. Also, huge shout out to the whole Delta Flyer team that designed this, Rolahan, Canrog, etc., and the rest for designing this kit, working on this kit. It's a fun little kit if you are looking at building a kit printer just for fun. Obviously, I don't think this is like a production machine. Don't be building like 20 of these for a print farm. But if you're looking for a fun little kit build because you bought a printer, now you want to build a printer, look into one of these. They're fun. I'll do a video on it at some point. talking about it. And then shout out to Polymaker for the spool film we give away this stream and every other stream. Links for all of them and more in the video description. Some of them are affiliate links. It is Black Friday. Everyone's doing sales right now. Use code Canuck, save some money. GamerSups has 20% off. Everyone else has sales. Check out the links in the description. Don't cost you anything extra. You'll save a bunch of money right now because it's all on sale, and you'll help support the channel at the same time. And for those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create, without your continued support. You make it all possible. I'm Taylor, Canuck Creator. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy all your leftover turkey for the Americans. And I will see you in the future. Go wash your hands. Goodbye.